Well, DA leader John Steenhuisen is expected to announce the party's candidate for KwaZulu-Natal premiership. UMngeni Local Municipality Mayor Chris Pappas is the front-runner for the top job in the province. Political analysts predict that the province could see a coalition government after next year's elections. But eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is watching this for us. He joins me now to give us the latest news from the ground. And Siphamandla, very warm good morning to you. Let's talk about, the significance of this announcement. John Steenhuisen and the stand expected to announce, even though we see Chris Pappas being a frontrunner.
Well, I guess this announcement is important simply because KwaZulu-Natal is considered a political battleground for the upcoming general elections in 2024. The Democratic Alliance has been saying it wants to wrestle the province away from the ANC. The party has a working agreement with the IFP, but when it comes to local government sphere, post that they will discuss and decide whether they want to work with any other political party. But the DA, which was once the official opposition in KwaZulu-Natal, says it's ready to take over the province. The question is, who will it be? Will it be Dean? Will it be Francois Rogers? Will it be Chris Pappas? Because I'm delaying this program here, let me get straight to it, because the man who's going to answer that question is here. Dean, thank you very much for your time. Who is your premier candidate? I know you will give me a diplomatic answer because your federal leader, John Steenhuisen, is here. But surely as KwaZulu-Natal, you know.
I know, but I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to let the federal leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, reveal that in a couple of minutes' time.
You were said to have been one of the candidates. Is it true that you, Francois and Pappas, were three candidates that went for the selection process?
Well, I can't, talk to other people's views or ambitions. But of course, people like myself were lobbied to stand for the position. But at the end of the day, we need to consider what is in the best interest of the organization, what can take us to the magical number of a 51% coalition government, 41 seats in the legislature. And that was what was at the top of my mind when I made my decision relating to the premier candidates.
What's the plan? What's the political strategy? How do you plan to take over KwaZulu-Natal if that will indeed happen?
Well, of course, we're going to go into this election. We're going to throw everything that we can at it. We're going to be crisscrossing this province, meeting every single voter that we possibly can. We're going to be in towns, communities and villages across KwaZulu-Natal. And we're going to take a message of hope to say that KwaZulu-Natal doesn't have to be in the position that it is today because of the ANC and now the growing EFF coalition, and that there is another option on the table that involves the Democratic Alliance, and that is what we're going to take to the electorate.
You were once the official opposition in KwaZulu-Natal. The IFP toppled you. Are you not worried that you are going to this election at the back foot?
Absolutely not. I think that we've shown in the by-elections that we fought recently that the DA has a lot of momentum in the province, particularly in our battleground of eThekwini, where we are very strong. We've maintained all of our wards and we've seen big growth in that. We have our UMngeni government, which is delivering on its manifesto and on its mandate. So I'm very confident that we are going into this with the momentum that's needed to see us in government in 7 months' time.
I see your PEC here. It looks quite diverse, but others will raise concerns about issues of racial diversity within the DA. You have lost a number of powerful African leaders, Zwakele Mncwango, Yombali Ntulis of this world. How do you rebrand? How do you change this narrative and the perception about the DA being relatively stubborn to change and race?
Well, we have a very stable leadership in this province. The leadership was just elected a couple of months ago, re-elected with an overwhelming majority, more than 2/3. So our leadership is stable. We have a stable provincial executive that holds us accountable. And I'm absolutely convinced that when we go to voters, we're going with sincerity, with humility, and we're offering them something that they desperately need, which is hope, which is a new future, jobs, and the security of being able to live in their own homes without people breaking into them. That's what's on the mind of voters, not race issues that the ANC and the EFF would try and drag us into.
I don't want to preview your manifesto, but violent crime in KwaZulu-Natal is one of the major concerns. Sluggish economic growth, which is a national challenge. Give us a sneak preview into your focus. I know you are talking about jobs, but water issues are a challenge in KwaZulu-Natal.
Well, I think the bigger issue is local government. I mean, eThekwini has all but collapsed. In my constituency of North Durban, we haven't had water for 8 days now. The mayor is missing, the city manager is missing, the head of water, Ednick Mtswele, he's missing, and no one can do anything about it. And that is what we are going to take to the electorate, as a strong, stable coalition government that can put people's priorities first and not politicians. That's going to be the core focus of our manifesto going into this election.
You say coalition government. Will you be in coalition with the IFP?
Well, you can't talk about a penalty shootout until you've played the 90 minutes. And we've still got to play 90 minutes. We're not even in the first half. So we've still got a long way to go. Of course, I think a major breakthrough in this province has been the Service Delivery Pact, and we've seen some good fruit out of that. We have a long way to go, but I'm confident in our working relationship with the IFP. They're natural partners for us, and I think that they want to see the back end of the ANC as much as I do. In fact, my counterpart, Tami Ntuli, said at Prince Buthelezzi's memorial that actually the best thing that the IFP can do to memorize the late Prince is to get rid of the ANC and to win the election. So I believe that they're on the same page as us.
What's going to happen once John Steenhuisen takes to the podium? How is your program going to unfold here today?
Well, he'll obviously be addressing all of the people that have come out today. We also have Ivan Meyer, our federal chairperson. We have Francois Rogers, Stembiso Ngema, and then John will make that announcement of our premier candidate. We will then hear from him or her as to what their plans and what their focuses are, and then they're immediately going to have to hit the road.
We thank you very much for time, Baba. That is Dean. Dean is the DA KZN chairperson here. I can tell you, knowing how these things work, the fact that Dean, who's the chairperson, is here on the steps of the City Hall, and Francois Rogers, the gentleman wearing a white shirt, is here. He is the federal leader in KwaZulu-Natal, provincial leader rather. Let me call him exactly that. He is the provincial leader. That is Francois Rogers. And there is only one gentleman whom we have not spotted here. His name is Chris Papas. He's the mayor of UMngeni Municipality. He's tipped to be the premier candidate of the DA in KwaZulu-Natal, and I'm sure he's going to make a grand entrance with the federal leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, any moment from now.